Hey guys, what's going on? Your boy is back, and just hear me out. Just hear me out on this one. Everyone calm down. Everyone gets so up in arm about these matches, but I'm gonna explain why it's not the worst thing in the world, and we're gonna try to give it a more positive spin over here because I think there's way too much negativity in the pro wrestling world, especially amongst the fans. So we're gonna try to give it a more positive spin over here. So we're going to talk about Brock Lesnar versus Omos at WrestleMania 39. Depending, they could still change this match and add something to it or add another person to it. I don't know. From what it sounds like, they're going to be doing Brock versus Omos at WrestleMania 39. So let's talk about the positives and why this is a good thing. So for starters, pro wrestling has always been kind of built on these kind of matches. I know like a lot of people don't like to hear that. They like a lot of the hardcore fans, I think a lot of people I find that the thing's kind of switching. There's a lot of people who like different things. Pro wrestling fans in general have like a vast array of things they like. Like some people like really like the high flyers and people who do a million moves and kickouts, like the Young Bucks. Or some people really like the technical wrestling and the technical aspect. Other people are just really there for the big show or the big superstars like The Rock. And that's all they're really there for. So it's just really a part of pro wrestling allure. So Brock Lesnar is a huge name in the pro wrestling industry. Obviously, he's one of the top wrestlers on the planet that you'd want to wrestle to make a big money payday. So yeah, and he obviously has MMA background, which is really important because he was a successful box office draw there. So he just, again, Brock is just a big draw in general. So putting him in the ring with someone like Omos, who's 7'3", 400 something pounds, it's just like those pictures alone are going to be like, you know how you ever see like those workout videos where you see like Brock flexing and like you obviously see like the like Brock Lesnar is one of the big people they'll like post a picture of. He's just a big jacked guy in like the fitness industry and stuff. So this will be like putting pictures and stuff, just seeing Brock and Omos go face to face and standing toe to toe at WrestleMania. And yeah, so getting to my next point here, another thing about pro wrestling is and MMA does this too, or boxing now does it with freak show fights. So for example, the Paul brothers boxing Floyd Mayweather is a freak show fight. They do them in MMA where it's like that 160-pound guy. It's on YouTube. They did it in Pride, and it was like a 160-pound guy versus like a 400-pound dude in an MMA fight. And again, pro wrestling's really known for doing these. A match I'm going to be talking about hopefully later this week is Giant Gonzalez versus The Undertaker. Undertaker did so many of these throughout his career. Yokozuna, Undertaker versus Undertaker, Undertaker versus Kane, Undertaker versus Great Khali, Kane versus Great Khali. Yeah, so it's like the Undertaker always had to work with the big guys and have these big freak show attraction matches because they're just big dudes slugging it out because nobody else could fuck up a big dude. Is essentially what I'm saying. So the pro freak show fights they're a spectacle and they attract all sorts of viewers and media. Now they're not always my thing in other sports and stuff. They can be really miss in pro wrestling, but I don't think this is going to be a big miss, and I'll get to that why in a minute. So again, like going back to like my whole point about pro wrestling, one of the big money paydays during the Attitude Era was seeing Vince McMahon versus Stone Cold Steve Austin have a match. That going to be a technical classic match, and all these hardcore fans going about how much they love the Attitude Era, but then a lot of these same people will just crap all over this. Was Vince McMahon versus Stone Cold going to be a Matt Classic or just a technical Ric Flair versus Ricky Steamboat type affair? No, Steve Austin and McMahon. It was really about the feud and the characters and the story in the match. The match itself really was probably secondary to all those things. It was just the fact that they were having a match and people were going to get to finally see Vince McMahon get his ass whooped by Stone Cold. So, yeah, obviously I'm not comparing Omos to any of that stuff. So relax. Again, so another thing a lot of people don't really mention is WWE, they don't make new stars. They never make new stars. But the minute they try to make a new star, they rebel and they never like cheer for the guy. They always rebel against it and not really like it. Like there's those people like I talked about in a previous video where they're trying to boo Cody Rhodes and they're trying to start whole Cody's not over thing, and it's just really stupid. And it's the same thing here. Like Omos is 7 feet tall. Like he's gonna be a big, hopefully a big part of WWE in years to come. That he's a big guy, and having giants in pro wrestling is really really important. And yeah, it just adds to the mystique of people involved in pro wrestling. Sorry, they're not 5'8" technical masterpieces. I can't really say much about that, but yeah, Omos, he's got a lot of talent. Like just give him some time, and maybe he'll. Buffalo took Mark Henry had some good matches. I liked Mark Henry. I liked the Big Show. I liked Andre the Giant. It's just that today a lot of fans, they just don't get behind. Like a lot of the hardcore fans don't really get behind this, but I think it's fine. You got to have new stars, different looking people on your shows to add to personalities, which bring conflict, which makes for interesting stories. So that's why I actually really like that. And like I said, big men have always been a part of pro wrestling, and they always should be a part of pro wrestling. You need different variations in people to make interesting stories. So to reiterate that point. Now, specifically getting to Brock Lesnar versus Omos on why I think it won't be that bad. Essentially, it's probably not going to go longer than 5 minutes or 6 minutes at most. It's what's going to be cool about it is you're just going to get to see the big power spots, and you're going to get to see Brock Lesnar have his big moment where he picks up Omos and hits him with the F5. And I think that's just going to be a really, really big, awesome spot. And Brock, he's a really fun babyface and just a fun guy to watch bounce around the ring. So it'd be fun to watch a gladiator warrior go and fight a giant, essentially, is what we're watching here. So that's why it's going to be really cool to watch this. For me, anyways, that's the allure of this. You're watching a knight go and slay a dragon. And that story is as old as time, and it's about watching someone who's this big go and fight someone who's this big. You know what I'm saying? Brock's actually not that big, but fighting someone way, way, way bigger than them and having to overcome some kind of obstacle. And it's always been interesting in history. Obviously, David versus Goliath, knights versus dragons, a one-man army versus an entire army, obviously. So that's kind of why there's always the intrigue of how these things turn out. So yeah, I think that's also one of the cool parts about it. And finally, you're going to have last point we'll talk about is this is building up Omos. Omos you need to have new stars and people doing new things and new matches and new faces in these positions. And we've seen Brock versus Roman Reigns a million times. We've seen Brock versus Braun Strowman a million times, it feels like. And so I'm for people, new, fresh matches. And even if it's not a match that I particularly go with or see, I'm still okay with seeing someone new in those positions. And I think that's a good thing and a positive thing, that we can all sit back and relax for just 2 minutes, because it's just like we were fans of this when we were kids and watching. Like I was always a big Kane fan, I know, and he got involved in some clunkers, but I always, it never really bugged me too much. So yeah, so hopefully I was able to get some people to ease up and not go complete keyboard warrior over this. And yeah, so I'm always a fan of this stuff. I'm just trying to give a positive spin on this so people kind of relax instead of just all constantly bashing the same things over and over again, and just taking a minute and breathing and relaxing for 2 minutes, obviously. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. What's your favorite match on the WrestleMania 39 card so far? Is it going to be the Matt Classic technical warfare between Omos and Brock Lesnar, or is it going to be that classic power match between Asuka and Bianca Belair of Slugfest? Anyways, like the video, comment, subscribe. Thank you everyone for watching my videos. It means a lot to me. And yeah, like the video, comment, subscribe. Peace out, guys.